Namaste everyone. Let's begin. Let me share my screen. Wish you all a very happy Navratri. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನವರಾತ್ರಿ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. I would like to welcome you all for this special occasion of Navratri Satsang that is being conducted by Anjali Akka. And the topic for the day is topic for this satsang is learning from women in Ramayana, the various women characters that appear in Ramayana. I'd like to go through a few instructions as it is day one. It's the same instructions that I had shared it on the group. Very quickly, this it's a free Zoom meeting, so it has a 40-minute time limit, and hence we'll take all the questions only towards the end of the session. And we'll be recording this meeting and so that we can upload on Anjali's YouTube channel for everybody's benefit. And since we are recording, I humbly request everyone to be on mute. And if the meeting ends and people still have questions or we have not concluded yet, we can all log in back with the same meeting link. Today is day one, and for Navratri, each of the days is associated with a special significance, and each form of Goddess Durga that is being worshipped, and also a color for the day. And today being day one, the Tithi or the significance of the day is a Ghata Sthapana, where people do Kalasha Sthapanam and offer their initial prayer and worship to the Kalasham and also the Guru dolls of the Navratri Pombegulu. And the form of Goddess Durga that is being worshipped today is Shailaputri Devi, and the color is yellow, which signifies joy and cheerfulness. So let us offer our prayers at the feet of Shailaputri Devi to bring joy and cheerfulness in all of our lives, and also give us the strength and courage to start and continue on this path of sadhana and satsang that Anjali Akka has dearly shown us. First, we will chant 32 names of Durga. We'll be chanting it 3 times. So, with the sankalpa of overcoming distresses and to experience peace and harmony, let's begin. Om Durga Durga Tishamani Durga Padvinivarini Durga Machedini Durga Sadhini Durga Nashini Durga Todharini Durga Nihantri Durga Mapaha Durga Magnanada Durga Daitya Lokadavanala Durga Ma Loka Durga Matma Swarupini Durga Marga Prada Durga Mavidya Durga Mashrita Durga Magnana Samsthana Durga Madhyana Bhasini Durga Moha Durga Maga Durga Martha Swarupini Durga Masura Samhantri Durga Mayudharini Durga Mangi Durga Mata Durga Mya Durga Meshwari Durga Bhima Durga Bhama Durga Bha Durga Dharini Om Durga Durga Tishamani Durga Padvinivarini Durga Machedini Durga Sadhini Durga Nashini Durga Todharini Durga Nihantri Durga Mapaha Durga Magnanada Durga Daitya Lokadavanala Durga Ma Loka Durga Matma Swarupini Durga Marga Prada Durga Mavidya Durga Mashrita Durga Magnana Samsthana Durga Madhyana Bhasini Durga Moha Durga Maga Durga Martha Swarupini Durga Masura Samhantri Durga Mayudharini Durga Mangi Durga Mata Durga Mya Durga Meshwari Durga Bhima Durga Bhama Durga Bha Durga Dharini Om Durga Durga Tishamani Durga Padvinivarini Durga Machedini Durga Sadhini Durga Nashini Durga Todharini Durga Nihantri Durga Mapaha Durga Magnanada Durga Daitya Lokadavanala Durga Ma Loka Durga Matma Swarupini Durga Marga Prada Durga Mavidya Durga Mashrita Durga Magnana Samsthana Durga Madhyana Bhasini Durga Moha Durga Maga Durga Martha Swarupini Durga Masura Samhantri Durga Mayudharini Durga Mangi Durga Mata Durga Mya Durga Meshwari Durga Bhima Durga Bhama Durga Bha Durga Dharini Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. With this, I would like to hand it over to Anjali Akka. I'll stop the screen share.
Am I audible and is everybody able to see the screen?
Yeah, Ansuyaka.
Yes. Okay. Then we'll start. लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुग्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. Namaskar to everybody and a very warm welcome to all of you to this satsang. At the very outset, let me wish you all a very happy Navaratri. Let the goddess bless us all and help us, to progress in our spiritual journey. So today we are taking up this topic and we are going to be talking about it. So today is day 1 of our satsang. What is it that we plan to do in this satsang? So the idea is to discuss particular characters in the Ramayana. We will focus on the women characters because this is the period of Navaratri. And as Lakshmi Devi herself has told in the Lakshmi Tantra, she says, I reside in Amsha form in all the women who are there in the world. So keeping that in mind, we are going to discuss these women characters. Now, what is our viewpoint when we are talking about these people? It is, first of all, I am not an expert. I should give that disclaimer. I am not some Pandit or scholar to be able to say that I will teach you people about Ramayana. I am not that. Secondly, I myself am learning, and whatever little I know, the desire to share with that spirit, we are doing this satsang. So from our viewpoint, generally when people say women in Ramayana and all, especially in today's times, we have to be careful what is their approach. My approach and our approach in this satsang is going to be that we are going to see how we can learn something from their lives so that we can grow spiritually. ನಮ್ಮ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಉನ್ನತಿಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಕಲಿಬಹುದು ಈ ದೇವಿಯರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮ್ಮ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಸತ್ಸಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ. So with that spirit, let us pray to Devi that she should bless us to be able to understand whatever we are going to learn today and to be able to adopt those things in our life also. So why this topic of Ramayana? Firstly, as we know that there is the concept of the Navaratri Vrata, the 9 days. It is said that when Lord Rama was to fight against Ravana, then Lakshmana and Rama, both of them, they undertook the Vrata for 9 days. And on the 10th day, that is on the Dashami day, they killed Ravana. So Ravana is having another name as Dashanana. So the day when this Dashanana was destroyed, that is called as the Dashahara or Dasara day. So since that is the context, then Ramayana becomes significant here. There are a lot of people who do Navaratri Ramayana Patha and all that. So in that sense, we have chosen to take up Ramayana. The importance of Ramayana is that it is said to be the embodiment of the Vedas. There is a very well-known shloka which says this: Veda Vedye Pare Pumsi Jate Dasharathatmaje Veda Pracheta Sadasi Sakshad Ramayanatmana. So when the Parama Purusha, who can only be known through the Vedas, when Lord Mahavishnu incarnated as the son of Dasharatha, the Vedas also took avatara and they came in the form of Ramayana and they were written by sage Prachetasa. Prachetasa is another name for Valmiki Rishi. So Parama Purusha, Paramatma yavaga avatara ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ನೋ ಭೂಮಿ ಮೇಲೆ ದಶರಥನ ಪುತ್ರನ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆವಾಗ ವೇದಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಅವತಾರ ತಗೊಂಡ್ವು. ಆ ವೇದದ ರೂಪ ರಾಮಾಯಣ. So that is why there is a lot of importance given to Ramayana. So another reason why Ramayana is because Ramayana, all the story of Rama, the Leela of Rama, everything happened during the Treta Yuga. And there was a lot of Satvikata during the Treta Yuga. And that is because that Yuga is closer to the Krita Yuga or Satya Yuga. So the level of Satvikata was definitely far higher at that time. And the kind of lives that these people led are like a model for us. In today's times, when we have such a shortage of role models, we need to go back to those Sattvic times and get role models. Mahabharata undoubtedly also has lessons for us, but the fact remains that because Mahabharata happened in the Dwapar Yuga and that is closer to our present Kali Yuga, so naturally the level of Satvikata is was far lesser during the Dwapar Yuga. So we have chosen Ramayana because it is having more Satvik role models for us to go on. Then it is also said that in English, commonly people say, no, that practice what you preach. So when these people in English, they say their intention is that you preach first and then you practice. But in our Shastras, it is actually the opposite way if you look at it. The Bhagavad Gita was told, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. All that was told in the Krishna Avatara. But we can't say that it was empty preaching because already in the previous Avatara, Lord Rama had shown us ರಾಮಾವತಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ತರ ಒಂದು ಜೀವನ ನಡೆಸಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ತರ ನಮ್ಮ ದಿನ ಜೀವನ ನಾವು ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರು ರಾಮರು. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಆ ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನ ಮುಂಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಕೃಷ್ಣಾವತಾರದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅವರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ, we should definitely do as what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, and we should do as what Rama did and showed us in the Ramayana. So that should be our spirit. So today our character, the Devi whom we are going to take for today, is Kausalya Mata. So if any of us have ever heard the Venkatesha Suprabhata in Tirumala, or we pass by any temple early in the morning, or you put on the TV or the radio early in the morning, you are definitely going to hear this famous verse which is being made so famous by M.S. Subbulakshmi, isn't it? We all have heard this and we continue to hear it every day. Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashardula Kartavyam Daiva Manhikam. So this is the first verse of the Venkatesha Suprabhata. Where did this verse come from? It was actually chanted by Rishi Vishwamitra. We know the sequence of events when Vishwamitra comes to Dasharatha and he asks that you please send Rama and Lakshmana with me, and takes them into the forest. And there he teaches them a lot of things. So after they go, the first night when they are sleeping, the next morning, it is time to wake them up. At that time, it is said that Vishwamitra Rishi keeps looking at these two children who are sleeping. And then he addresses Rama and he says this shloka. So this is where it is coming from. In the Valmiki Ramayana, in the Balakanda, the 23rd Sarga, the second shloka. So what is the meaning of this shloka? O Rama, son of the fortunate Kausalya, wake up. As the sun is rising from the eastern side, it is time to do the morning Sandhya Vandanam. It is time to do all our morning rituals. So please wake up. He wakes him up like that. Now here, there are two things. Why does he not call Rama as Dasharatha Nandana? Why is he saying Kausalya Supraja Rama? He is referring to Kausalya as the fortunate one to have Rama as a son. Because it is the mother who will always be putting the child to sleep. And then when the child wakes up, the mother will see, isn't it? So Vishwamitra is marveling. He's saying that every day, this Kausalya Mata has the punya of looking at this baby child Rama waking up in the morning. How fortunate is he? He's thinking. And with that in his mind, he says Kausalya Supraja. So, yen punya ಮಾಡಿರಬೇಕು ಈ ಕೌಸಲ್ಯ. ದಿನ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನ ಮುಖ ನೋಡಿ ಅವ್ನು ಹೇಗ್ ಮಲಗಿದಾನೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚಂದವಾಗಿ ಮಲಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೂಪ ಇದೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ನೋಡಿ ಅವ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗ್ಯವಂತೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಕೌಸಲ್ಯ ಅಂತ. In that, with that spirit, he composes this. Now there are some commentators who add an extra point here. They say that why did not he say anything for Lakshmana? He is only addressing Rama here. So that is the what you say, the Gudhartha, the spirit which is conveyed in this picture on the side here. Actually, it is said that when he went and saw there, they had lain on the grass. But then, when Vishwamitra saw him, he could not see Rama lying on the grass. He could not see Lakshmana. He could see Rama lying on Adishesha. And as we know, Lakshmana is a rupa of Adishesha. He is an avatar of Adishesha. So that is the reason why they say he did not address Lakshmana, because there was no Lakshmana there to be addressed. Lord Rama was resting very beautifully on the Adishesha. So such is the fortune of Mother Kausalya. She was mother to the Paramatma himself, isn't it? So what can we learn from her? Now we know a lot of things about Kausalya. She was the first wife of Dasharatha Raja. So all the other queens came after her. We know that there is Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi. Like this, we know the three main queens. But according to Valmiki Ramayana, there are some 25 there are 350 queens that Dasharatha had. In some other sources, they say even more number. And it is told that whenever Dasharatha would get married and bring one new queen home, it was Kausalya who would stand there. She was the first queen. She would stand there and do aarti and take them in and be very nice and friendly to them. So ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ವಭಾವ ಇತ್ತು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ attitude towards the other. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರೇ ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಬಂದ್ರು ಕೂಡ Kausalya used to welcome them very nicely. Then her beloved son Rama, we know, we have heard the famous Tulsi Bhajan, Thumak chalat Ramachandra, Bajat Penjaniya, Thumak chalat Ramachandra. So it describes how beautifully, normally we talk about childhood leelas of Krishna, isn't it? There are very few references to Rama in his childhood. But the Tulsi in this bhajan, he says how nicely, how beautifully Lord Rama is walking, how beautiful he looks, how he swings his ears and the earrings in his ears move around. So many things they describe in this. So such love she must have had for that son. And then that son had to go to Vanvas. So how much heartbreak that mother would have felt. She had the bhagya of looking at that child waking up every morning, that Sukomala child, she would enjoy all his antics. And then that same son, she had to send away to Vanvas. So how much heartbreak she would have undergone. ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವ್ರಿಗೊಂದು ದುಃಖ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ರಾಮನನ್ನ ವನವಾಸಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದಾಗ. ಅಂಥ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ವಿಧಿಗಳು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲಾರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಬೇಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮಗನ್ನ ನೀವು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ. She prays to all the trees, the animals in the forest, to the rishis who are there, to the gurus who are there. She prays to everything and she says, you please take care of my child and protect him. Because for her, he is child. He is not Rama the god. He is the child for her, isn't it? Then we also see that after Rama went off to Vanvas, aa dukkhadalli Dasharatha, he becomes totally weak and weak. And then it is time for his end. Until the very end. So till then, Dasharatha was in the mahal of Kaikeyi. When Rama gets sent to Vanvas, in that dejection with Kaikeyi, he says, Kausalya, take me into your palace. And he goes there. And he stays there and Kausalya cares for him right up till the very end. And she keeps giving him hope. Yes, there are versions where they say that she was angry with him or she tauntingly spoke to Dasharatha. That is all fine. But despite all that, she stays with him till the very end and does whatever seva she can do for her husband. So that attitude also she has. And what is her attitude towards Bharata? It is told that actually she was the one who was very fond of Bharata. One thing I forgot to mention, when Rama was beloved of Kaikeyi, she never had any feeling of jealousy that, oh, she is my, whatever, she's a stepwife, she's another wife, and she's liking Rama so much. She used to go and do namaskar to Kaikeyi. She never had any problems with that. So these are all the things that we see in the character of Kausalya. And what was her attitude towards Bharata? It is said that when Rama went and reported to her that my Pattabhisheka is not happening, and it is going to be Bharata who will be the king, she was very happy. She said, Rama is 3 times better than you. Then it is told that at the time when Rama was to come back from the Vanavasa, at that time when the day was over and 14 years were up and Bharata had taken a pratigna, so he was about to jump into the fire and say, I'm going to give up my life. She is the one who stops him. Kausalya is the one who stops Bharata and says, what will I do if you go away like this? To me, you are more than 1,000,000 Ramas. So that is her attitude towards Bharata, who is actually the son of Kaikeyi, right? So these are few aspects in the life of Kausalya that we can talk about. What can we learn from these? These are the facts that we can think over. Like Kausalya, can I accept even the people who are in competition with me in a positive spirit and behave with kindness towards them? Kausalya Rani. Dasharathange innondashtu raniಗಳಿದ್ರು. So despite having so many people who were trying to vie with her for the same position, still she was able to be nice to them. ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಲು ಕೌಸಲ್ಯ. So can we learn that spirit from her? That even if somebody is trying to be equal to me, we generally don't like this behavior from other people and we try to put them down. But can we learn to look at kindness with everybody around us? Even those who are trying to be very competitive with me. Can we think of this? Secondly, Although Kaikeyi did so much to her, but when Bharata came, she realized the true spirit of Bharata and she accepted him. So although the conflict was with Kaikeyi after the Vanavas thing, she did not let that, change her attitude towards Bharata. Sometimes in our life, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ ಒಬ್ಬರ ಹತ್ರ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲೇಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, some problem we will have with one individual, and because of that all the other people related to that individual we start behaving badly to them also. Can we learn from Kausalya that every individual is different and we should have independent relationships with people? If I don't like somebody, if I'm not able to get along with one person, then there may be other people associated with them. Can I learn to deal individually with them and not say because this one person is not proper, I will be bad to all the others? Can we learn that from Kausalya? Then the third thing, although she had to send Rama away, there was no alternative. She told him, let the dharma which you are fostering, let that dharma only protect you. And she sent him. So that attitude of prayer, that prayerful spirit, a prarthanatmaka ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆ, ಅದು ನಾವು ಕಲಿಬಹುದಾ? Can we learn that? Many times things go beyond our control. There are a lot of distressing situations we have to face. There's a lot of uncomfortable things in our life. What do we do when we are faced with such situations? Do we just get carried away with the emotion and flow with it and go around blaming everybody and everything and this thing? Or do we learn to say that this is the phala of my papa karma, this is the result of what I have done in some past births, or this is God's wish, I will accept it and I will pray to God for help to take care of me, to take care of my loved ones? Can we do this? Can we learn this from Kausalya? Can we give hope or support to those who are in need of it, even if those people are the cause of my unhappiness? Right? We saw how she continued to care for Dasharatha. Now, if she had to think of it, Dasharatha was the root cause of all the trouble in her life now, because Rama was sent away because of his boon to Kaikeyi. But although somebody is the cause of your unhappiness, are you able to continue to support them because they need help? Are you able to do that? Are we of that mentality? Can we learn this from Kausalya? Then, regardless of whatever discomfort I have to face, can I always try to stand by the guidelines of Dharma and encourage people around me also to do the same thing? This is the question we should ask ourselves. By emotional standards, now bhavanatmakavagi nodidre Rama vanavasಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಾಯಿತು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ತಪ್ಪು, it is not correct, he did not deserve it. We will talk all these things, but that is all at the level of emotion. But what was Rama's intention in going to Vanavas? It was to keep the word of his father, because his father had taken a pratignya. Our pratignena ಇವ್ರು ಪಾಲಿಸಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಮಾತು ಸತ್ಯ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಸುಳ್ಳಾಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಇವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. He followed what he saw as dharma, and Kausalya Mata supported him in that dharma. Although she was totally disheartened, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದುಃಖ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಇದು ಧರ್ಮ, ಇದೇ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರ ಮಗನಿಗೂ ಅದೇ ಬೋಧನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅದೇ ತರ ಹೋಗಕ್ ಬಿಟ್ರಲ್ಲ. And this is what we can learn, that many times we always look for what is pleasant for us. We say there is something called as Shreyas and Preyas, which is explained in the Shastra. Shreyas is what is Shreyaskara, what is the best thing to do. Do we do that? Or Preyas, what is pleasant to me, what I like to do. Do we do that? Do we do what should be done, or do we do what I like to do? This is something we have to think about. It may seem like a very small thing, but finally it is small things that go together and make up our final personality. So every time ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇ ಒಂದು ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಬಂದರೂ ಕೂಡ, can I learn to think ಇದು ಧರ್ಮನ ಅಧರ್ಮನ, ನಾನು ಯಾವ ತರ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ದಾರಿ, ನಾನು ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸರಿಯಾದ ದಾರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, what is the right path to follow, what is not correct, or what is the best for me to do? Can we learn to think along these lines like Kausalya did? So she was the first queen. She took charge of all the people around her. She was the one, and when she was strong, then the family got held together. Of course, there was a point of time when she felt weak. That happens to everybody. As women, many times we are expected to be, kind of super women. But we may not have the strength to do it all the time. But it is an what you say, you can't debate at all about it. It's an unarguable point that ultimately for the woman, for the family to be strong and to stay together, the woman plays a very, very important role. So can I become that strong woman? Whenever there is difficulty in my life, I can say, no, is my difficulty as severe as that of Kausalya? How did Kausalya behave in this situation? What should be my attitude? We must remember her at that time. And we must try and become strong in this sense. So can I be that strong woman? And if we see other women who are trying through difficulty, can we support those people? Can we be that support for them also? These are some of the things that we need to think about. So if there are any of the men who are attending this talk, then please think about it. Can you support your wife, your mother, whoever woman is in your house to be the strong woman that they are capable of being? So these are some of the things that we need to think about. And today, on the first day of Navratri, we have started this topic. So let us pray that God will bless us to think about all these things and to try and adopt them in our life also. So with this, I have finished whatever I had to say. If there are any questions, we can take them. Is there anything anybody would like to ask or say? I don't think anybody has put anything in the chat either.
Good evening, madam. Answe madam.
Namaskara, sir. Narayan Babu sir.
Namaskara. Yenilla, madam. The qualities of Kaushalya, really, it has to be taken. I agree with that. But the other person's qualities, especially Dasharatha's qualities, that is not correct, I feel. Because some certain aspects are there. That is the thing I felt, madam.
Yeah.
Because she is a lady. Yeah. That's why I think Rama is Ekapatni Vrata. Most probably, after seeing his father and suffering of his mother, most probably he would have taken that vow to be have only.
Yeah. So actually, there are different aspects, sir. In the sense, in those times, having multiple wives was the norm. There are many
yes, madam,
kings and many people who always had.
Yeah.
That Rama, despite all those precedents, still was Ekapratni Vrata. That is his greatness, and that is what Rama was
that's why Ram.
One
yeah,
lady
that's true.
Dashara. Monday
Hello. Hello.
Hey, madam. Somebody is scribbling on the screen. And actually, although from this incident, it seems like Dasharatha, okay, he had so many wives, and we think of it like that. But it is actually that name Dasharatha.
Excellent concept and relevant and practical takeaway. Lessons for life. Give home support to those who are in need of it.
Madam, I think some overlapping. Madam, some overlapping is happening, I think.
No, madam. When madam is talking, she's saying that these are relevant, something like that. No, ma'am? Okay. I will just tell briefly about...
Madam, as far as the other aspects are concerned, what you said is right.
Yeah.
Other aspects, especially, that means literally, if you take that particular aspect,
yeah,
I think that this Kausalya's Sahana Ansate ashte. Other persons. That is, as far as that aspect is concerned. That's why I think Lord Rama became God.
Yeah, sir, all that is there. But for Rama to have taken birth as Dasharatha's son, he definitely had a lot of redeeming qualities. That was definitely there. And also, if you see the name Dasharatha, Dasharatha, the one who the Dasha refers to the Pancha Jnanendriya and the Pancha Karmendriya. So he was actually the one who had control of all those 10. And that is why it is said that his Nagari, place where he ruled, was Ayodhya. It was undefeatable because it had a Raja like Dasharatha. And because of all those qualities, only Rama was born to him as a son. But the social conditions of those times were different. So anyway, we are not here to comment about that. So that part is fine.
No, that's why literally we cannot take all the aspects. I feel, madam, it's my opinion. Anyway, that whatever you said, no, madam, that qualities to applicable to other aspects, yes, it's 100% correct, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can I add to that, ma'am?
Yeah, please.
Basically, during olden times, it was dharmic for a king to have multiple wives because they are of royal blood. So it is righteous for a king to ensure that his lineage will get transmitted to the next generation in as many ways as possible. That is the reason if we see even during Dwapara Yuga, Krishna had so many wives. When Rama preached, that a person has to have one wife, it is not contrary to that Krishna had so many wives. It is just that it was a norm and it was absolutely dharmic for a king to have a number of wives only to ensure that the royal blood gets carried, because it is, see, king is somebody who protects us. So more the number of kings were able, it's more protection for the sages, for the people. So considering that it was of royal blood, it was absolutely righteous, and it was a norm, and it was dharmic for a king of to have a number of wives, which is not true for common man. The same with Rukmini also.
Yeah, we cannot have everything. So that's why, as I said, our idea here is definitely we will notice some things and we need not bother about it. We need to focus on whatever is important to us. We will think about those things more. There is one question somebody has put in the chat. Sir?
No, I fully agree, madam. That's why.
Yeah, correct, sir. But it's okay, sir, that you raised the point. It is good.
Yeah. We have that conversation and we allow that conversation to happen. That's why Hinduism is like that.
Yeah,
because we accept other views. Yeah, so we take everybody along with that, and we'll have discussions. That's the thing, madam. That's why that is great, madam. Anyway, thank you, madam. Really, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. There's a question somebody has put in the chat, which is a very interesting question. It says, "Is this concept very much practical in Kali Yuga?" Yeah. So again, as I said, when we say, is it practical, then we are thinking about, whether it is applicable to us. Can I follow this, or will people take advantage of me? This is generally our fear, that we think if we are good, then people will take advantage of us. So that is an unfounded fear most of the times. There may be situations, yes, of course, there are extreme kind of conditions where it may be difficult to do that. But in general, at least for the things which are not very difficult, we need to try and start adopting these attitudes. Because, as I said again, it depends. Is my intention to change the other person? How am I trying to make the world a better place? Am I trying to look at changing other people and make them better? Or am I trying to look at changing myself? Am I looking for self-improvement? So if improving myself and my atmonnati, my atmodhar is my intention, then I will do everything possible for that. Then I'm not bothered about what happens outside of me. I'm looking at what is happening within me, internally, inside my own consciousness. So with that attitude, when we start practicing, then we will start slowly with small, simple things that we can practice. We may not be able to do everything. Definitely, none of us is going to become Kausalya in one day. But we may not become in this lifetime also. That's a different thing. But the effort has to be there. And that doing that effort is our sadhana. Because similar thing happens when people talk of dhyana and meditation. People complain that I'm not able to concentrate. Concentration is the end goal. You will not be able to concentrate. Struggling to get the concentration is your sadhana. Similarly, when we say we want to change something within ourselves, then the process of trying to change ourselves, that process is what is our sadhana. And that is what should be important to us, rather than waiting for the final result and thinking of, is it practical? Am I worried about practical, or am I worried about my self-interest, my self-improvement, that way? So we are so caught up in this world that we think, okay, people, we generally say, I have an Atma, or Nannolagondu Atma ide. When I say this, then I'm identifying myself with the body, and I'm saying that I am the body and I have an Atma. But reality is, it is the opposite way around. We are the Atma. I can say I have a body. My consciousness, my identity is the Atma within me. So whatever I need to do for making it recognize its actual Swarupa, that is something I should be willing to put efforts for. So when I develop that kind of a drishtikon, when I look from that point of view, then I will stop worrying about whether it is practical or not. Then I'm ready to say that God will take care of me no matter what. And I will just continue doing whatever I have to do. That is a type of bhakti we have to try to achieve. So we keep doing little by little, and by God's grace, at some point of time, hopefully, we will reach there. So I hope that answers the question, Sumati ji. Is there anything else anybody else wants to add?
Anasuya ji, I would like to know, till date, we have heard a lot about Lord Ram and how he was in his world, how he used to handle his wife, how good was he as a person. But can you just tell us more about Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughna also?
We will come to that eventually. There are 9 days still to go. And in the process of talking about all the women, we will see how the men associated with them were also.
Sure.
We can see that in subsequent days. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Fine. Thank you so much. So,
Ansika, one more thing to add to what you said previously is in the last session you were talking about Narayanastra, how it came, and how when people surrendered, it started attacking the Bhima who was not surrendering. So I think when a conflict happens, rather than going with equal strength and emotion for the conflict, if you just back off a little bit, it's also my experience that people also tend to step back and check their own emotions, how they are behaving and their own attitude. I think in that sense, it is good that we make like little change and experiment with it and see how the other people react. And of course, it is there are extreme cases where some people are like to the extremes where common sense prevails, of course.
Yeah. That's true. That's a very nice way of putting it. When we are faced with people who behave extremely abnormally, maybe pathological behavior, then none of these things work. If there is somebody who is psychotic, then I will not say, please, that you accept whatever he says and you behave according to what the psychotic person talks. That is a different thing. So we are not talking about those kind of extremes of abnormal behavior. We're talking about a normal human, whatever you and me, whatever we are, that kind of in that kind of a situation, yes, we should definitely try and adopt. That trying is our sadhana. So a lot of people, a lot of you have put messages in the chat saying thank you and all that. We would like to thank you also for being part of this. Without you all to attend here, then the talk would not have happened. So thank you for your encouragement and for joining in today. Usha, we can maybe have Kritagnyata and close.
Yes, ma'am. I'll just share my screen. You're able to see the screen, ma'am? Hello?
No, there's nothing showing.
Okay, 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, now we can see.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ansuyaka. It was a wonderful talk, and you wonderfully explained the character of Kausalya And I think a takeaway for me is the sense of equanimity with which you can take. I mean, the morning Rama comes and says the Pattabhisheka is not happening and I'm going for living for the forest, and that too for 14 years. I think it would have taken great amounts of strength and courage for Kausalya to handle this situation. I think, like you said, if we start doing like minor improvements and bringing about that awareness and to make the sankalpa that okay, from today I'm going to be a little more aware and a little more inclusive, because generally we have a very strict boundary around ourselves, saying me and my family. I think if we could just broaden that horizon a little bit and try to include everyone and be more accepting of others, and giving more support and encouragement to other women or people in general in the society, I think will go far, and also it will help us grow spiritually in the sadhana. Thank you very much for the wonderful talk. Coming to Kritanyata, let us offer our gratitude at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna and Guru for inspiring us and to start and join the satsang, and also pray that their blessings and grace be upon us always. Thank you. Hari Om.
Namaskar. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Namaskar.